We don't have I think our date will just depend on the venue.
I don't know. I mean, I like this place because it feels open.
But it would need more work
Yeah.
to make it decorate.
So it's been about 3 weeks since we got engaged. And if you saw the end of that video, literally 5 minutes later, we're already discussing wedding plans. We just thought we are kind of in the very early phases of wedding planning, and we're both, I mean, Allie's probably more swamped with it, sort of just kind of winging it and asking friends and family, and we just thought we'd address like kind of where we are, some questions, some tips that we've maybe found about wedding planning early on, and kind of go from there.
I think the most common question for us now and in the last 3 weeks has been, did you set a date? What's your date? Or even on the beach, I think one of the first things my mom said is,
When?
I hope you don't stay engaged too long, let's plan the wedding soon. The answer is we don't know, but we think next fall.
Why?
Fall of 2017. Doing it next fall would give us a whole year to plan, and that feels like a good amount of time.
Something else that we're thinking about is, do you have your wedding in your current city or where you're originally from?
Well, right now, our ideal would be to have the wedding here in San Francisco, where we are currently living, as opposed to where we grew up. Yeah, just the ease of planning a wedding, a couple miles where we live feels a lot more doable and enjoyable. A perk of doing it here is that we're really not tied into wedding season. September and October in the Midwest could be snowy and cold, it could be raining, it's so unpredictable. And in the Bay, every single day is the same.
It's so great here. It feels like summer right now.
Yeah, it's hot.
So this is the same type of weather we'd want for next year. Ken, will you be my best man? So what's the most surprising thing that you've learned in 3 weeks?
We are not the most traditional couple. The style and vision that I'm picturing is not very traditional, but I'm surprised at how many wedding traditions I'm finding I want to incorporate into our own day.
The most surprising thing I've found is I expected wedding venues to be a lot more expensive here. It was sort of our dream maybe to have the wedding here, and we still haven't booked anything, but it's looking more and more affordable. Like I just thought it was going to be outrageous. Yeah. Like peerspace.com is one of these sites where you can rent out photography studios. And
So another question we've been considering is, why do different couples choose to have either a large or small bridal party? Ken does not want to be in our wedding.
Oh my goodness. Maybe this is the wrong perception, but I always thought that having a big bridal party was somehow more expensive or kind of looked down upon, like, I don't know, whenever you see photos of big bridal parties, you're always kind of making a joke about it. Why the hell are there so many people in that wedding? And it seems like the cheapest thing you can do to add a lot of fun to your wedding. If we have it out here, hopefully the people we choose will fly out here. How do you choose a dress?
It's hard because I'm in San Francisco, obviously. My mom's in Milwaukee, and Heather, my maid of honor, is in New York. And I want all three of us to be together and have that moment with our champagne, and I come out in the dress and it's the one and we cry and hug and it's the best moment ever. So right now I'm struggling with logistically, who's going to get on a plane, who's going to come to who, when is there a time that we can have a weekend to seriously shop. I just learned today you're supposed to purchase your wedding dress 6 to 8 months before the wedding. So it's like, God, I need to get serious. Yeah, so I don't know the answer to that yet, but maybe when we're all in Wisconsin for the holidays, we can find some time to shop.
If you do, let us know in the comments. And I think the suit I choose is probably in my closet right now. Maybe not.
One solution in the meantime, though, until we're physically all together, is we started a hidden secret shared Pinterest board. So we're the only ones that can see it, so no one can stumble upon it.
So how do you know which venue is right for you?
We want something unique and interesting.
Like, we don't know exactly how many people are coming. We sort of have an idea and an estimate. So all of the venues that we're looking at are sort of based on this number that we don't know for sure. And so a lot of it's just like filtering out, like, is this going to be too big or too small? That's sort of like the first filter that goes through our minds. Is like, is it big enough? How much does it cost?
Would the venue let us bring in our own booze? Do they have a list of caterers we have to use, or can we bring whoever we want? It's like all these really minute details that we haven't considered yet, but now we're having to think about.
Yeah, we haven't decided whether or not we will use someone who's sort of like an all-inclusive. If we don't, it sounds like a lot of work. We don't know yet. So was it difficult for you to choose a maid of honor?
The short answer is no, not at all. But Heather, my maid of honor and best friend my entire life, was the obvious choice. She is basically a sister. And we've been talking about being maid of honors in each other's weddings since we were probably 12 years old and had our first boyfriends. It was funny when I was talking to her after we got engaged. I wasn't even sure if I needed to formally ask her. We were just talking and assuming that she'd be the maid of honor. I'm like, oh shit, I should probably pose the question and formally ask you. Oh, I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah?
When you were a little boy and you imagined the woman you were going to marry, did you imagine her burping as much as I do? So what are our priorities in planning this wedding and what we're going to spend money on?
The space, the venue, and the food, who's going to be there, so the people, the booze, and the dancing, you know? And I think everything's really focused around that stuff and not too much about the flowers or the chairs or the tables and that, you know, just a lot of stuff that I think you can waste a lot of money on. And so maybe it's being in San Francisco and living in small spaces, and this is sort of our life, and we're constantly thinking about how to save money, but, you know, no one's going to remember the other crap. We're just trying to be mindful of that. So.
It helps that we already have a minimalist style, that'll probably carry over into the way we style our wedding too. So basically, we have nothing planned yet, but we're thinking a lot, we're brainstorming a lot, but we definitely need help. God, that sounded pathetic.
We do need help.
So if you are married, if you've planned a wedding, especially recently, and it's fresh in your mind, we'd love to know regrets, things you do differently looking back, things you're glad you splurged and spent money on. Leave comments below. We want to hear it all. We need all the advice we can get.
We still haven't decided a date yet. Stop asking.
Lupe is now going for it. I hope she tries to eat. Oh, it's on her nose. That's disgusting, Lupe. How'd it taste? That good, huh?
She feels very proud of herself.